So our next step is domain model specification. So what is domain model specification? In this, it describes the main concept, entities and objects in the domain of the IoT system to be designed. Okay, so domain model defines the attributes of the objects and relationship between these objects. So attributes are nothing but the domain model can provide an abstract representation of the concept, object and entities in the IoT domain. Okay, so all this is for what purpose? Because the system designer can get an understanding of the IoT domain for which the system is to be designed. So in this domain model, basically there are two entities, that is physical entity and virtual entity. In the case of physical entity, it consists of room and appliances. Virtual entity consists of the state of that particular system. Okay, and it deals with what? All virtual entities. As I have discussed that state is a virtual entity. Okay, so next is information model specification. So what is this? In this, it defines the structure of all the information in the IoT system. For example, attributes of the virtual entities, relationship, etc. Information model does not describe or specifies how the system information is represented or stored. Okay, that means it does not deal with description of the system. Okay, it purely deals with what? It purely deals with the attributes of the system, okay, and their relationship. Okay. Information model adds more detail to the virtual entities by defining their attributes and relationship. Okay. So moving towards our example of home automation system for the third and fourth unit, let's see. So this is our domain model specification. So in this, as I have discussed that there are two entities, that is virtual entity and physical entity. So all these virtual entities are relates to what? Relates to the physical entity, that is room, and associated with what? Service. Okay, associated to particular service, that means what? State of the light, that is keeping the light on or off. This is the service. Okay, and the resources used are two types, that is network resources and on device resources. Okay, so for this purpose we are also using some physical attributes such as the sensor and actuators. Okay, so sensors, in this we are using the LDR. Okay, that is light detecting sensor. It detects whether the state of light is low or high. So as I have already discussed about virtual entity, here in this case virtual entity is what? Virtual entity is nothing, is in this case is state of that particular device. Okay, state is whether it is on or off, and another virtual entity is what? The level of light. So this is the diagrammatic representation and the indication of the different signs. Okay, so this arrow indicates the one-way association, this another arrow indicates what? Generalization, specialization, etc. and entities are represented like this, okay, along with the attribute. So our next is information model specification. Next step is information model specification. So what it does, it gives the relationship between the various objects along with their entities. So let's consider this virtual entity. In the case, the ID is given as room 1. Okay, so in a room, the virtual entity which is given as what? Light appliances. Okay, so light appliances which are stored in what? In a room. Okay, and the attribute is what? Attribute in given in the form of light level. So whether the level of light is low, then the system should turn on the light, and whether the level of the light is high, then system should turn off the light. So similar case is here, another attribute, that is state. So state is, there are two state, that is on state and off state, which we have discussed earlier. Okay, so two entities are here, room and light appliances, and the attributes along with these two entities. Thank you.